Here's a picture from this week's Labour Party conference, but what does EMDB stand for?
Is it how Ed Miliband was chosen? Eeny, meeny, dibble, bibble.
Is it Ed, marvellous double-crossing bastard?
David is threatening Ed and he's reminding him of something he used to do. Remember, Ed, make damp bed.
Looking at the acting on David's face, is it Elder Miliband deserves BAFTA?
Is it what David should have done the minute he was born? Eradicate my dad's bollocks.
Is it Ernie marginally defeats Bert?
Is it something to do with the way Ed's standing? Is it Ed Miliband disguises boner?
I reckon it's just a headline from the Daily Mail, isn't it? Evil Marxist dictator bastards.
I'm going to move towards the correct answer for Cameron.
Does the E stand for Ed?
Yes.
Does the M stand for Miliband?
Yes, it does. You're very
Does
good
the
at
D
this
stand
game.
for David and does the B stand for Billy Band? Is it a bit of scandal? Is it Ed's mother is David's brother? Is it Ed Miliband defeats brother?
It is indeed. Thank you very much for that. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Ed Miliband defeats brother. This is the news that Ed Miliband has become the new leader of the Labour Party after a nail-biting build-up at the party's conference in Manchester. Ed narrowly defeated his elder brother and clear favourite David in one of the biggest upsets in recent British political history.
Don't you think it was really weird? Because in his acceptance speech, Ed Miliband said, "Never in my wildest imagination did I think I would become leader of this party." And you think, why did he stand then? Well, he must have had a sort of vague idea it was a possibility. He must understand how elections... If we want a leader who doesn't understand how elections work, we might as well send a passport to Robert Mugabe.
You're trying to encourage him to actually, you know, state where he is. Is he Blairite? Is he Brownite?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's saying he's his own man, but Milibandite, it doesn't really sound like a political philosophy, does it? Sounds more like a strong adhesive, you know? Don't use glue, use Milibandite.
So they glue him to the back of the wall and the party conference and slowly lower the wall forward. Is that falling? Milibandite is perfect.
He has the look of somebody on The Apprentice. Ever since it's been announced that he's the leader, he's got this look in his face of, oh no, I didn't mean that to happen. When he stood up to give his leader's speech, I genuinely thought he was going to start by going, am I being punked?
He looks like Beaker out of the Muppets. I love him.
Yeah, it's all me with him.
Because they look quite similar, but not similar enough to, like... Because if they looked a little bit more similar, they could do that stuff that they did in Parent Trap, where they could pretend to be each other. It's like, turn up. Like, David would turn up and be like, oh, it's Ed, isn't it? Yeah, it's Ed. So I'll go do my speech now. Africa, schmafrica. What about gays? And then he'd be fine.
It's a great plan. It's one of the best plans I've ever heard. They turn up and deliver Africa, schmafrica. What about the gays?
Africa, schmafrica speech.
The famous I have a schmagreen. What factor allowed Ed to narrowly defeat his brother in this?
Well, this is supposed to be the unions.
Yes.
The annoying thing now is that the papers are calling him Red Ed. If you read the Daily Mail, they say, who has been dubbed Red Ed? Yeah, by you.
They're calling him Red Ed partly because he's got left-wing policies,
yes,
but mainly because it rhymes with Ed.
Yes.
That is most
unfortunate.
Of it. Yeah. You know, there are lots of things that rhyme with Ed. He is in a bit of trouble, isn't he? Because if he does move slightly to the right, then it'll be right said Ed. You know? He gets married, wed Ed. You know, he wakes up with a bad hair day, bedhead. You know, it's just going to go on and on.
I like the fact as well, all the newspapers made a big thing of saying, oh, their policies are very different, even though they're brothers. I thought it'd be quite cool if there was more political brothers that just came out the woodwork. It's like, oh, yeah, hello, I'm Colin Mugabe. And my favourite festival is Glastonbury, because I love anything that is run by a rich white farmer.
To make up for the sibling rivalry, though, didn't Ed say he'd give David any job he wanted? But that leaves it open from just... Could he get revenge by just making up a job? He'd ask for, like, this shadow Mac Daddy of the Exchequer or something. What do you think he wanted?
Surely if he goes, I'll give you any job you want, how about leader of the Labour Party?
David's hand gestures during his speech. He gave a speech the next day where he was talking about Ed all the time, but there was a camera focused on his hands, and he was going, the thing about Ed, we have to work together. Quite extraordinary. And he kept referring to him as special over and over again. Ed is a special person. He might as well have winked. I think we know what I mean.
And his wife, and references to his poor partner, who was upset, obviously, because her husband had lost out in his dream, but kept going on about how upset she was, and she was a violinist. She was upset, and she was a violinist. These two facts were in every piece, as if she spent 4 days fiddling furiously.
Coming off it.
Twang, twang, sort of one string.
The first poll that came out after he was elected leader had Labour slightly ahead. Pollsters are constantly bringing things out all the time. Who are you going to vote for? They're nagging. Did we not tell you who we're going to vote? I'm pretty sure we told you who we will vote for and then voted for them. Stop asking us. Pollsters, they're like opticians, pollsters. It's just, and now, and now, and now.